All right, today we are diving deep into advanced Kriya Yoga, a practice that's often kept behind closed doors. We're going to explore a method that says you can take this journey all on your own, no traditional spiritual initiation needed. So, the big question is, can you really unlock these ancient secrets by yourself? Let's find out. For centuries, if you asked that question in most spiritual traditions, the answer would have been a hard yes. The whole idea of a guru passing sacred knowledge down to a student is a cornerstone. But what if there is another way? What if there's a path you could actually walk step by step on your own? And that brings us right to this really bold statement from our source. This claim just turns that whole tradition on its head. It promises to lay out the secrets for a self-practice for free. It really makes you lean in and think, okay, what exactly are these secrets?
So, who is the god making this claim? He's Osman, also known as the blind Muslim yogi. He describes himself as a master-level bioenergy healer with almost 50 years, 5 decades of deep experience. And his approach is all about taking teachings from all over the world, the Far East, the Middle East, the West, and boiling them down into these unique protocols that are all about getting results.
So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to demystify this thing called Kundalini energy. Then, we'll walk through the 4 levels of preparation and get into the specific breathing ratios. From there, we'll cover how you can safely awaken this energy, and finally, we'll talk about the ultimate spiritual goal behind this whole thing. Okay, first things first, let's tackle the big one, Kundalini energy. The source material says that there's a huge misunderstanding about what this energy actually is and what our goal with it should be. So here's the key idea. Kundalini is described as the cosmic energy of the entire universe. Just think about that. There's no way you can hold all of that inside your body. The goal isn't to try and contain the whole ocean. It's to build a bigger, stronger boat. And we do that by slowly, bit by bit, increasing our own life force energy, our prana, so we can safely handle a little more of that cosmic current. And you might be wondering, why does this matter to me right now? Well, here's why. The source claims our modern, super intense way of life can actually cause this energy to stir up all on its own in people who have zero preparation for it. And that can be, well, pretty confusing to say the least.
Just think about any time you've been in a state of intense focus. A student cramming for an exam, an artist totally lost in their painting, a musician in the zone, or even an athlete who hits that amazing second wind. The source even points to Sylvester Stallone, who supposedly wrote the script for Rocky in one crazy non-stop session. That's a flow state, and that's this exact same energy at play, just channeled into a specific task. Okay, so how do we get ourselves ready for this energy consciously and, more importantly, safely? Well, that brings us to the core of the method, a 4-level system designed specifically to prepare your body's energy channels. The technique itself is a very specific kind of breath work, or what's known in yoga as pranayama. It's called alternate nostril breathing, but with one absolutely critical addition, holding the breath. That's called retention, and that's where the magic really happens. So the whole system is laid out in these 4 levels. You can see it starts pretty simple. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for 16, and exhale for 8. Each level just doubles the count but keeps that same ratio. And the goal for every single level is to be able to do 21 rounds in a row until it feels, and this is the source's exact phrase, easy peasy. And I know easy peasy might sound a little silly, but it's probably the most important instruction in this whole process. It's your body's way of giving you feedback. See, when you start, it might feel hard. That difficulty is supposedly from blockages in your energy channels. When the practice finally feels effortless, that's the signal that the channels are clearing up. Only then is it safe to move on. So patience is absolutely everything here. Okay, let's zoom in a little closer on those numbers. This whole system is built around a very specific and very ancient breathing formula, a 1:4:2 ratio. 1 part inhale, 4 parts hold, 2 parts exhale. So what does one full cycle actually feel like? Let's walk through it, using level 1. You'd inhale through your left nostril for 4 counts, then you hold your breath for 16 counts, then you exhale through your right nostril for 8. But you're not done. Right away, you inhale through that same right nostril for 4, hold again for 16, and then finally exhale to the left for 8. That whole sequence, that's just 1 round. The goal is to do 21 of those, one after another. All right, Now we get to the moment that all this preparation has been building towards. And I really have to emphasize this. This is an action you only take after you've totally mastered all 4 levels. This is not a shortcut. It's the very last step of the training.
The timing for this is incredibly precise. You do it during the final, 21st round of a level 4 session. And not just any session, but one that has become completely and totally effortless for you.
And the window of opportunity happens right here, during that final 64-count breath hold of that very last round. This is the moment your body has been systematically prepared to handle.
Okay, so here's the action. During that final hold, with your lungs totally full of air, you mentally push all that pressure, all that prana, straight down to the very base of your spine. The source uses a really powerful image for this. Imagine you're hitting that spot with a 5-pound hammer. You hold that intense downward focus for about a 20 count, and then you just release the mental pressure and finish the exhale as normal.
But here is where this whole thing takes a fascinating turn. That big awakening moment, it isn't actually the end goal. According to the source, it's considered more of a natural side effect of all the real work you've been doing. It's a huge milestone for sure, but it's not the final destination.
And this makes it crystal clear. The initial aim, or maybe we should call it a side effect, is that awakening. It's the proof that you're clearing out your system. But the ultimate long-term goal is to keep going, to clear out all 72,000 of the body's subtle energy channels, or nadis, and by doing that, to actually spiritualize your physical body.
And for those who keep progressing, the practice evolves again. You can actually add a second breath hold, this time after you exhale, when your lungs are empty. So the breathing becomes a 4-part cycle. Reaching a point where you can comfortably hold for a 64 count with both full and empty lungs, well, that signals that your central energy channel is almost completely clear. So what's the result of all this work? The source calls it the activation of the light body. This is the idea that by spiritualizing your physical form, you can literally begin to transform your own cells, a process that's said to potentially slow down aging and make you more resilient to physical illness.
And this all leads to the most profound and maybe mind-bending goal mentioned in this entire practice. The source says the absolute ultimate aim of this ancient science is to strive toward what's known as the deathless body, a complete spiritual transformation of our physical existence.
And that really just leaves us with a final thought to chew on. No matter what path or technique someone follows, the core idea here is about systematically and safely removing our own internal roadblocks. And it really makes you wonder, what could any of us truly be capable of if the barriers to our own inner potential are unlocked?